Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is 𝗬𝗲𝗍𝗻𝗲, and I'm the co-founder of International Climate Change Development Initiative. I'm super excited to be, joining you again today, and I'm very sure every one of you also have been waiting for this conversation that is going to change the workspace and that is going to also open our eyes to why we need to take care of ourselves, why we are in workspace, even anywhere we are working from. And it's very important that we know that today is where we are celebrating the world of work. And we are talking about, a big conversation where everybody, no matter where you are today, you're actually working somewhere. So it's very important we talk about the importance of investing in safety and health and work. And on Sunday, the world celebrated World Malaria Day. And it's also part of safety and health. So we're having another conversation today. And first and foremost, let me first of all, I don't want to introduce her. I want her to actually do the introduction herself, but I will want to tell you that uh, uh, everything is possible as long as you are dedicated to what you are doing. Getting I was just in 1 week or so, and I was so happy because I don't know her before. I've never met her before. But one key thing here is that I've seen what she has been doing on the platform, engaging, putting those content that is actually making everybody to understand the reality about life and how we need to start talking to the citizen participation. And that is why we are having her today. Thank you very much, Ma, for coming on board. So first and foremost, I want you to actually tell us about yourself, what you do, what inspire you to, I know what you are doing. Thank you very much.
Hello, Olumide. Good afternoon to all of our listeners all over the world. My name is Hauwa Atiku-Uwais, as you can see on screen. I am a business owner, a mother, and the convener of a platform called the Conversations with Hauwa Atiku-Uwais. The platform was birthed on the need to ensure that the youthful generation that we have right now, participate responsibly in politics and electioneering processes to bring about good leadership in Nigeria and wherever it is they may find themselves. Because of course we have followers, from other parts of the world as well. I also run my own business. It's called Dark Delight Cakes and Patisserie. I've had it since 2017. I own it. I run it myself. So I wear many hats sometimes, and I'm also an advocate, obviously, for good governance and a public speaker. So this is me, and I am extremely happy to be here. As Mr. Olumide said, last week they reached out to me, and of course we talked, and I understood the need for what they're doing, and I'm very happy to be here and to participate on today, on this day, which is very important for workers all over the world.
Yes, thank you very much. You did it more like a student that they're asking that tell us about yourself in 30 seconds. And I say that that was very, very, concrete. And I will not say I wish to be like you, but I wish to achieve what you've achieved in life. Because most of the time, as younger generation, the need of mentor, the need of person that will look after is also very, very important. And along the way, we also need to start looking at how can we emulate those joy, blessing, happiness that is surrounding those people. And that is one of the great things you've been doing. When I read the story of the gelato, I was like, oh, that was a very and to be very honest, your website, if somebody wants to actually know about you, you don't need to meet you to know about you at all. The website actually explains your growth, the process you've taken in life, and where you want to be. So I'm very happy that that zeal, that passion has been there so far. So thank you very much. Even irrespective of who you are, that is the bottom line, impacting people, engaging more people. Thank you so much. And I want to use this opportunity to say to everybody watching us from everywhere, you can watch us through our Facebook platform. You can watch us from YouTube, and you can also watch us on Twitter, because we are streaming live, and so that you get the first-hand information before another person come and rewatch again. So thank you very much. And this is International Climate Change Development Initiative. We are very happy to be here again to have this conversation this year. Last year was very, very intense, where we have 3 to 4 speakers that talk to us about why we need to talk about safety and health at work. So for her, she runs different kind of business, which is impacting more people and getting people, I call it investment opportunity. You are investing in the future generation. And that's the opportunity we are looking at across the world. So a quick one, I want to actually ask you, we know why safety is very important in our society. So what can you say is safety to you? In your own word, what does safety looks like? In your space, in your business, in your family, what does safety, what does it mean to you?
Okay, so for me, first of all, safety is, you look at it as plainly as possible. So safety is a state or a condition of actually feeling safe wherever you are. And there are so many components, of course, to safety. It could be physical, it could be psychological, it could be, there are so many things that contribute to the safety of one. And for me, safety involves making sure that dangers and hazards are minimized as much as possible. But the dangers of hazards and any harm coming to any individual are minimized as much as possible, to a level where if an accident were to happen, it would be at a level that is sort of accepted. So let me say like an accidental level of risk, so for me, that is what safety entails. And if you were to start from, a unit as small as the family, I've got 3 kids myself, and I remember as a new mother, it was terrifying for me, to have my child back with me at home. The first thing that came to my mind was, how do I secure my child? How do I make sure that my child doesn't go over the balcony? How do I ensure that my child doesn't topple off the stairs? So things like that. And then, of course, you move from thinking and acting. So, okay, so how do I stop you from getting up the stairs or down or toppling down? Okay, I put barriers, I put gates where any human form cannot possibly go through. How do I stop you from jumping over a balcony barrier? I say, okay, lock the door to that balcony, because is it absolutely necessary for that child to go to the balcony? No. So when you start from the family unit, as small as it is, you understand the importance of safety. Now moving to the workplace, which is why we're here, you have to ensure that people that work in that particular place are safe. And because the heart of a business or the heart of an office, it's people. The resources there are the people. So you have, if you want to make sure that that business is successful, you have to ensure that the people that are your resources, that are your wealth, are kept safe. So for me, ensuring that people are safe in the workplace, in the home, for me, that is what safety is. Everybody must be safe enough to carry out their duties, and you minimize risk to dangers to an acceptable level. For me, that is what safety is. And it is non-negotiable. Absolutely. non-negotiable.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. One thing I just wanted to say about what you just mentioned about safety is that, you did a very good definition when it comes to family, when it comes to work, and the general definition that everybody know about safety, which I think one of the key ones that stand out for me is the part of when you talk about your family, safety in your family. Everything that happens to us as human starts from home, because
that's right.
Culture, attitude, habits, and everything starts from why we are growing and the kind of legacy they are leaving for us. And I think it's very, very important that you raise that point of starting from the numbers of kids, how you are moving them from making sure that their safety is sure and so it's very, very key and very, very important, because that is one of the key ways to actually help us to understand the word safety. And looking at safety at workspace is also something that, from the boss to the least person in the office, is something that is also very important, that everybody must be at, in a safe position whereby there's no any harm around them. And equipment, materials, they also need safety, because those are the things that we live on. So I think thank you very much for that that definition, by spreading those conversations to a lot of people. And let me quickly remind you that your show on the conversation is also showing why we need to start talking more about life, about change, about what we see that is not working. And because if a particular place is not conducive, there's no how you and I we have the opportunity to sit and have this kind of conversation. So I think that's another way for us to talk about. So in your line of business, so let us go into business. In your line of business, what is safety at work means to you? And how do you, make sure your workers are actually, getting that kind of feelings from, there's this motherly love, and there's this business that is different from, pleasure. How do you try to make that work for for you in your business that you're running?
Okay, so I'm going to start from me being an employer. So as an employer of labor, I believe that we are responsible for ensuring that the working environment is safe and healthy for all of our staff. After I opened my business, I also worked in a food service industry as the head of quality assurance and product development. And for our trainings, then when we would hire new staff, everyone is interested, obviously, in the profit and how you can generate money for the company. And my department, we come up and we start saying, right, now we have to think about safety in the workplace. We have to think about how you do your jobs, and everybody gets bored, because they think, oh, this is the non-interesting part. But in a typical fast food industry, you're dealing with machinery that range from temperatures of minus 18 all the way, sometimes minus 30 all the way to 180 to 120 degrees centigrade. So you're looking at a range of machinery that move temperatures. Of course, we know with the minus temperatures, you can get freeze burns, and we know with the high temperatures, you can get actual burns, So when we start discussing these things with our staff and training them on how to handle machinery, how to wear anti-slip shoes so that, it's not slippery for you on the floor, so you don't fall down and break a hip, and of course the company would want to invest in that, because these are all ways that the company can mitigate the spending of money on health for its workers. So but once we get into the training and we make them understand, okay, we're training you because we don't want you to get injured. We're training you because we don't want you to put your hand in a blast freezer that has gone to -30 and you think you can leave it there for 40 seconds. No, you get freeze burns. We don't want you to put your hand in this oven because it's at this temperature and you'll get a burn. So you need to wear your mitts, whether you're working with a blast freezer or you're working with an oven, you know, whether you're working with a food display unit where you need to take out food and serve the customers. So these are very little things that people think are not important, but once you educate them on the dangers of machinery, on the dangers of, you know, spillages around the workplace, you know, then they start getting interested and they start seeing how important it is for them to ensure that their immediate working surroundings is kept clean, not only for them, but for their fellow workers. So again, as an employer, we must ensure, as employers, we must ensure that the working environment is healthy and kept safe for everyone. And then in my own business per se, I like to teach with example. So for instance, we deal with dairy because gelato obviously is made from fresh milk. We make it from fresh milk anyway. We don't like to put preservatives in our products. So these are things that, okay, you're handling dairy, you have to put on your hand gloves. It's as simple as that, because even you as the person handling the milk can get, you know, bacteria on your hand if you were using your hands, your bare hands, and you didn't wash properly. You know, so these are very little things that people think are not important, but they add up to safety. They add up to work safety. Because if you're infected, you're likely to pass it on to your co-worker, and, you know, or in fact, if you're infected and admitted in a hospital, then your co-worker is likely to get more work. You know, so it's not a physical hazard, but it's a psychological hazard. You've now shifted a lot of burden on a co-worker, which you ordinarily would have been able to avoid if you followed the right, rules, you know, set down. So for me, I teach with example. I'm always in the field. I'm always in the lab. We're making gelato together. I'm educating them more and more on the essence of being safe at work. And I've put in measures in place. Obviously, in the food industry, we like to put up signs. For instance, in our kitchens or in our labs, you know, wash your hands, wear your gloves, make sure equipment is switched off immediately after use, you know, especially when you use equipment that have blades and all of that. You don't want to mistakenly come and put your hand in it, you know, get cut and all of that. Having your first aid kit ready for workers to ensure that if they get cut or burns, they can be treated before being transferred to a hospital. Getting them trained in first aid as well. You know, so these are steps that we continuously take to enhance safety in the workplace. And dare I say that we're doing well. We've avoided a lot of issues that might have happened, both in my previous workplace and in my place of business now as well.
Wow, that was let me say, it's like a 2 pages of inspiration. You know, let me quickly read this. I know. Let me quickly say to our audience that you can send questions. You can share what you want to share with us. We definitely get it to our speaker today to also. And I see somebody is online saying that, do you know that Hauwa Atiku makes the best gelato in the northern Nigeria? I think when I come to Abuja, I need to taste that. She's also
Oh,
run
yes.
a soft serve and pastry store in Yola. Oh my God. Then I think we're having the right person on this platform, because you are an employer of people. And from what you've shared with us now, shows that you are not only employing, but you are coexisting with your employers, like working together. Because working with them, they'll be able to understand that you actually also be in their shoe to make sure that we are in this together. And also, like I said before, I do not know that you are the one that run the conversation. It was when I was going through your platform I saw that, because I have a friend that always shared the program on the WhatsApp. I was like, who is this? Unfortunately for me, I have to go and dig in. That's why I got to know about you. And it's also a big honor for us to have the daughter of one of the most passionate vice presidents in Nigeria, which everybody
Oh,
knows, my excellence. Yeah, so
yeah.
it's very, very important that you are also engaging those people. Like I always tell
Yeah.
people, most times everybody always think that the way father is, that's why son or daughter is. No,
Yeah.
everybody is in this world to express his own feelings and fight for what he thinks is good. And I will
That's right.
say this, that from what you said you talk about a clean environment is essential for healthy living, which I think is one of the important conversation for workers today. And the more you don't care about the environment, and I can tell you, the more it will become polluted. As an environmentalist, I can tell you that I've been talking about this since 2008, back in the university, throughout my life. And I can tell you that one of the biggest problem in not only in Nigeria, in the world presently, is how people are polluting the environment.
Yeah.
When we don't have a conducive environment, everybody's talking about climate change, everybody's talking about sustainable development. But the bottom line is, if you and I don't have that sustainable space, or we don't have that
Yeah.
sustainable environment, is there's no how we can even talk about living healthy, because it's going to be, most of the time you talk about psychology, bro,
Yeah.
is also very, very good for us as workers, as employer and as employee, to understand that
Yeah.
you are not only recruiting for them to come and make money for you, but you are recruiting for them to grow, to be
Yep.
safe, and to have, because it has what we call harmful impact on our health,
Yes.
as we are polluting, as we are emitting, everything we are doing. And the world is now talking about how we are moving to zero net emission. So in this kind of space, we need to start looking at how we need to make sure that not only we that owns the company or we that owns the business is being safe, but who the people that are working for us are also part of the people that we need to take along. So that was very, very
Yeah.
detailed for me. I really, really
And
appreciate your contribution.
may I add,
Yes, yes.
Olumide, may I add also that as the employer is doing his or her own bit, the employee as well has the responsibility to ensure that their co-workers work safely with them. So you don't think that you're working only for yourself. You have to
Mm,
understand that it is almost like a chain. If I'm
mm,
safe, this person is also safe. So there's a responsibility to ensure that people, your co-workers, work safely, and you protect each other from harm. It's very important. And to also know your rights, because of course we are expecting that governments have rules and regulations to follow in terms of occupational safety and health. So you as an employee, you should know your right. You should know what your employer should put in there for your safety. So these are also very important points that we need to raise, especially in Nigeria, where a lot of people don't know the rights that they have in the workplace. Oh, is my boss supposed to have this in place for me so that I'm safe? Am I supposed to wear a helmet when I'm walking into a construction site? Am I supposed to wear the construction gloves? These are little things that also employees don't know. And you must know your rights in the workplace for you to ensure that you're safe and your co-workers are also safe. So that was what I wanted to point out. Sorry.
yes, yes, yes. That was very detailed, and I can tell you that what you have been saying is something that I think, whether I should call them the environment and safety officers, or I should call them
Yes.
more of, when you as an HR, you also have to make sure that all these things are part of your recruitment process. You can't. Most of people recruit people without a very proper integration, or telling them what they need to do at the right time. But I can tell you that this conversation today will actually give us more understanding, which has been, you have been telling us, will give us more understanding of how we need to not only take care of ourselves, but our employers and employee both. And another thing again, you also, from your key conversation here, and from what somebody just said online, gelato in the northern Nigeria, I'm sure it's in Abuja, then another pastry store in Yola. Yeah. These two businesses are businesses that I think, if there's no cleanliness, if there's no health-related activities, the business will not grow. Because I cannot enter a pastry store, and I cannot enter a gelato store, and everywhere is messy. There's no, proper cleaning, very conducive environment for me to even enjoy the gelato. So it's something that is very, very key. And thanks for giving us this update on how we need to start. And I love the way you are using yourself as an example, because you are not giving example just because maybe you read it somewhere. It's a live example, and it's a personal story, which is always something that is always connects to people to actually understand where we are going from. So thank you very much. So quickly, basically, why should investing in safety at work? How does it supposed to look like? Now, I want you to come from the angle of, this angle. I love to come from this angle. People that you employ to your business. I have this attitude of taking ownership. When I say ownership, because the way you help me to run my business, that is how you also run your own business. So how do you think investing in safety should look like for both employee and employers?
Okay, for me, I think I'm going to have a very short answer to this. It's very it's very direct. If you invest in safety, you invest in your business. It's as simple as that. So if I were to safeguard the health and safety of my workers, it means that I am going to spend far less on health insurance claims and whatever expense that comes with lack of health and safety in the workplace. It means I'm going to save that on my business, which is going to give me my margins that I had hoped for in terms of profit. So for me, it's as simple as that. If you're a smart business owner, then you will make smart investment in the health and safety of your workers. But if you're not, then obviously you won't. So for me, as I said, of course, every business demands different health and safety measures. So in whatever business you're operating, your measures might be different from also the measures that we operate, say, for instance, in the family manufacturing arm of plastics will be completely different from my business here with gelato. So, but both of us, both my family and myself, if we invest properly in health and safety of our workers, then we've basically invested in our business. So for me, it's a simple and direct answer. You invest in health and safety, and you save your business from excessive costs that pertain to health and safety of workers.
Yeah, thank you. Let me just let me tease you in this way that I'm 100% sure that your workers are watching you.
so I'm sure some cheeky ones are.
yes. There's this that there's no how you have to have the soft parts and you have to have the hard part as a as the manager of a business. And why I'm saying that your workers, I hope they are watching you, is because you just said something nice, that you said investing in safety is investing in business. So I want to add to it, investing in safety is also investing in growth of such business. Because if you invest in safety, then your workers will also be able to have a conducive opportunity to also work.
They will be very productive. Yes.
Exactly. So That's why I said, I hope your workers are watching you so that you will know that Madam is saying that is investing in safety so that everybody, yeah, because one key thing is that why I mention investment opportunity or why I mention taking ownership is because most of the time when we get to recruit people or you are recruited to a business, we are
Yes.
recruited because of the experience and because of the knowledge you have for the past
Yes.
couple of years. And when you are getting on this business, how are you managing the health of the business? How are you making sure that that business is moving in a pace whereby everybody's able to do what they want to do at the right time? Then your word of investing in safety is investing in business. Now complement it by saying that you actually have a ownership of your own life and ownership of being productive at work. And you also mentioned one keyword. Maybe I don't know if you want to expatiate more on it. You mentioned about insurance, which I think is very, very key in safety and health. And for you to now say you are investing in safety and invest in business, meaning that their insurance is secured, their life is secured, and they will be able to do what? Deliver for such business in a way by everybody will be happy. So it's very, very important. Thanks for the short answer to that. And guys,
My
everybody,
pleasure.
if you are still watching from anywhere, one thing I assure you is that this is the live conversation, and you can still watch again to also gain from somebody that is running a business, using our own example to tell us how safety and health is very, very key in the business space. And you can also try to send your question to her. She's on social media. You can push it to her to ask for more question concerning this thing. So thank you very much. And second to the last, I think we are moving closer to. I don't want us to take more than 45 minutes. So what should be the role? This is very key, and I love to ask people this question because we are all government. We are the people. We are the planet. We are the government. What should be the role of government? Because it's very, very key in making sure citizens recognize safety as an important driver for society, business, and life.
Okay. So, government, for me, I've always said this, that I think government is there to guide, more or less, and that eventual implementation is up to individual businesses and corporations. Unfortunately for us here, we're saddled with a government that is more interested in taxing people than ensuring that people's health and safety is safeguarded at work. So before I started working with the fast food restaurant as the head of quality assurance, I had to undergo a training in the UK. And during one of my visits to one of the restaurants there, I remember the health and safety officer that walked in and asked for very specific things that he was there to check for. And of course, the store manager was responsible for ensuring that these things were provided and the answers, were were in line with government regulations and rules. Where, to which if they weren't, then obviously the restaurant might be fined and certain steps would have been taken by the government. Now, move down a couple of months later, I'm back to Nigeria and I'm, working in this place. And, we have some government officials walk in and ask for this and that, and you provide them. And all of a sudden, people are trying to extort money from you for some certain services that you're supposed to have, but you don't have clearance for, and all of that. And it's demoralizing, So as a business owner, as a business owner in Nigeria, you're faced with tremendous amount of pressure from government officials, on so many things that should ordinarily not cost you money, but do cost you money. So even if you were to invest properly in the health and safety of your workers, you will still have the government, who should be an overseer, who should be, the maker of rules and regulations and services and laws, and making sure infrastructure is in fact there for you to operate maximally as an organization. You would then have officers of the government trying to come and extort you, even though you have all the right things in place. So we're obviously dealing with a very peculiar situation for us here in Nigeria, unfortunately. These are issues that business owners, face daily. Now, but when it comes to the general idea of what government should be in terms of occupational safety and health, of course, government is the driver for laws and services. Government should provide infrastructure to make sure businesses operate maximally and businesses operate within the confines of the law. The government does that to ensure that workers remain employable, and employers remain accountable for the health and safety of their employees. But when you allow a business owner to cut corners because the government is being so to say bribed, then who actually protects the health and safety of the employee? It becomes a huge problem. And that's why I was very interested to actually come here and talk today. There are so many issues that the employee in Nigeria can be protected from harm at work. But because of these loopholes that we have of government, continually pressuring employers of labor to settle bills that are, astronomical or unnecessary, employees are left to bear the brunt of the cost of bribing government. So wherein an employee is supposed to have a great health insurance, the employer will reduce the level of health insurance they will offer to the employee because they have already exhausted their little profit trying to make sure that the government official is settled and happy with the business. Otherwise, you will get slammed with this bill, get slammed with that bill. And you run a business, you want your business to keep running. So we need to understand that if we continue to cut corners, then we cannot ensure, the health and safety of our employees 100% as it should be. Government should just be there to make sure businesses flourish. The infrastructure is there for businesses to flourish. The laws and regulations are there and are being implemented and followed. In a situation where rules and regulations are not followed, you find those businesses to ensure that things are done properly and everyone, no one is shortchanged rather. So government plays a key role, but if government sabotages your own business, then there's a problem because you're not able to do what you're supposed to do as an employer to ensure the safety and well-being of your staff at work. Government, of course, should have, they should develop national policies and programs and systems of checks and, inspections to enforce, compliance with occupational safety and health laws, but when they compromise that, then how do you balance it as a business owner? How do you do that? So it's very difficult sometimes, you see, but we still find ways to make sure that our employees are safe in the best manner that we're able to.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Flourish, infrastructure, regulations, law, rules. I think that was one of the key points that I'm taking away as well, because the role of the government is to safeguard and encourage businesses to run. And I think
Yes.
is one of the important things that we need to actually emphasize according to investing in the people. Because if if you
Yes.
invest in citizens, if you invest in the people, you'll be able to understand that people will be able to relate with you as a government. And I keep saying this, campaign promises also are very, very key when we are talking about flourish, talking about infrastructure, talking about regulations, laws, and rules is also very, very, very key. Then you mentioned something around national policies. I can
Yes.
tell you that since I've been in this space, I've seen diverse of
Yes.
policies. I don't want to say our policy is copy and paste. I would say that Nigerians, we are very intelligent because our policies is always detailed. Like if we can only, implement those policies according to the
Exactly.
occupation safety and health issue, then
Yes.
the issue
Yes.
of sabotaging businesses, making people to go through, process that they don't need to, will actually be
Yeah.
minimized. And
Yeah.
policies supposed to be part of documents that will actually give
Yes.
us that enabling environment to say yes and to say
Yes.
no when it comes to idea of what you're just talking about. Because government the chief recruiter of labor, right? They're one of the people that recruit a lot.
Mhm.
So we are even talking about private
Mhm.
businesses now. What now happens to
Yeah.
government workers? How are
Exactly.
they getting
Exactly.
themselves these kind of opportunities? Some private sectors, some non-government
Mm.
organizations, some social enterprise are putting much interest because as a government,
Yeah.
when you're talking about private sector, talking about businesses to make sure that they put insurance in place, they put this in place, what are they doing to the ones they recruit as a government
Yeah.
staff, as a civil servant? And that is a very, very
Yes.
key conversation. And thank you very much for bringing that key point of the
Yeah.
policies, of kind of regulation, of the kind of rules, and you also talk about infrastructure. I think that one is a topic for another day because
Indeed.
your experience back in the UK and what you are experiencing now in Nigeria, I'm sure, very, very sure, is far way bigger because when we travel out of the country, we are always overwhelmed with what we see. But when we come back, there's no issue for us to replicate what we see. But when that
Yeah.
conducive environment, when that government sabotaging or so called is not giving us that enabling space to actually implement
Mm-hmm.
or put this kind of infrastructure in place, I can bet you that
Yes.
we don't have that space and we need to keep talking. I love when people are very, very passionate about what they say. No matter what people want to say, we just need to continue to talk about it. And the last thing I want to also mention is that
Yeah.
you are not only talking, you are not only talking about health safety and insurance and everything. You are actually practicing it. You something that you've practiced, something you've seen, because it's also very important that while we are campaigning, while we are advocating for something, we also need to feel the
Yeah.
brunt. We also need to feel how it looks like running, even if it is a
Yes.
chin business you are running, even if it is a zobo you are selling,
Mm-hmm.
you will see that health and safety is very, very important. So I really appreciate that. And I
Mm-hmm.
think as times goes on, we'll be able to get more key points from you, maybe some subsequent conversation. And I also think that you take this conversation to the conversation platform to also see why health and safety
Yeah.
is very, very important. So I
Indeed.
promised 45 minutes, we're 43 minutes. So my
Yes.
question here is, what will be your parting word for today as the whole world is celebrating the World for Safety and Health at Work? What is going to be that message to the people? What is going to be that message to the government? And what's going to be that message to your employee And the last thing I will say, two things I always say in my conversation with people. They say when two
Yeah.
elephants are fighting, it's the grass that suffers it. And there's always a conversation that if we, as the elephants, are doing the right thing, then the people on the grassroots will actually experience that happiness from us as well. So your parting word for us should be to the government, to the people, and also to your own employees, employers, employees, everybody in your own businesses, because they will also see that, madam, I've said it, and we will take her for that. So thank you very much.
Thank you again, Olumide. I've had a very enlightening conversation with you this afternoon.
Thank you
I
very
am
much.
so glad that I joined in the conversation. Let me point something out, that what you and I have talked about today is not far and divorced from what the conversation stands for. As it is called, it is the conversation. And I believe that for any change to happen, people must be able to have the conversation about, the change that they want. So in essence, you and I are doing the same thing, and we are, on the same path. The most essential thing on this day, the World Day for, the health and safety of workers, around the world. It is important for us to take into account the lives that have been needlessly lost at work due to lack of proper occupational safety and health laws and precautions put into place. So to the government, to employers of labor, to employees, I beseech all of you to think about the life of the next person, because we know what as the you care and I care, amounts to we care. So if I care about what happens to you, Olumide, and you care about what happens to me, it makes the two of us care about each other, and then it makes us look at it on a broader scale to see, okay, if I care about my neighbor and my neighbor cares about me, how then do we ensure that we make the world a better place for everyone to live in? I believe that once governments start looking at her citizens as stakeholders in nation building, and and actually start caring about her citizens, I believe governments everywhere will make better laws and better regulations to safeguard the lives of people at work. And to employers of labor, I also ask that you think about your employees, you care about them, so that they can also care about you in return. And if you do that, for sure you'll reap the benefits of it, because then your workers will give you what you want in terms of profit, because you've safeguarded them. So it's as simple as that. Let's all care about what happens to our neighbors. And I believe that if we do that, the world will be a better place. Sometimes, it seems like a lot of rhetorics. It seems like it's just a lot of talk going over and over again. But I truly believe that if you care about the next person to you, you will make a change. Automatically, it will be inherent in you to ensure that you do things to make sure that the next person, lives a good life. And once you do that and you replicate it, as I like to call it, the ripple effect, it goes on and on and on and on. And before you know it, states are replicating it, nations are replicating it, and the world at large is a better place for us to live in. So these are my parting words to everyone that is listening to us and everyone that will watch this video at some other time in their lives.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you very much. I think let me summarize what you said in one word. If you care I care, then we care. It's going to be my parting word for today. And the word care is a very powerful word,
It
because
is.
if that can happen in every society, the conversation
Yes.
around religion, the conversation around culture, and the conversation around governance, we surely have a safer way to, everybody will definitely have, that space to actually express themselves and actually say what their mind is. And I think
Yeah.
our take home for this world of work and today's conversation on the importance of investing in safety and health at work is for us to
Yeah.
start caring for each other and start making sure that everybody no one is left behind, as we always say concerning our sustainable development goal. Nobody should be left behind, because
Yeah.
it's a very important and key word for us. So once again, I want to say on behalf of my team, International Climate Change Development Initiative, I want to say a big thank you to you for giving us that your time. I gave you 45 minutes, but you are the one that pushed it to 50 minutes. So thank you very much for coming, and I look forward to visit Gelato very, very soon, so that I can come
I
and see
hope
how it looks like. Yeah, and I also want to say that please keep doing what you are doing. Your great
Thank you.
work will continue to speak for you, and we want to see more of you. We want to see more of the conversation, so that we can see the more people that actually change the narrative of our workspace.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
and have a great evening and week ahead.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you very much, Olumide, and well done to you and your team. Very
Thank
commendable
you.
work. Thank you for having me. Have a
Bye.
lovely day. Bye then.
Yes, guys, thank you so much, everybody that joined us today. I'm so happy because Hauwa was able to make it, and 45 minutes to 50 minutes, we're able to discuss how safety and health at work is very important and why we need to invest into it. And I love the part where she actually used herself as an experience, as an example, to also tell us about why we need to make investment as something very important in the safety and the workspace. And a message to the government, to the people, also is very, very key to start looking at how they can start safeguarding the people on earth. And she also summarized our conversation by saying that I care, we care, makes we care. So if we care for each other, we'll be able to have a safer environment, we'll be able to have a sustainable earth environment, and be able to have that safeguarding opportunity at work. So guys, thank you very much for joining us. If you have a question for her, you can, send her a message on Twitter. She's always, on Twitter as well. And you can also send it to us. We can share it with her as well. Thank you very much. And I wish everybody that's still at work that happy World of Work Day. Thank you and bye.